Hi, I'm Zanzi. You are listening to Farmers Inside Track, proudly brought to you by Food Forum Zanzi. My name is Patricia Tembo, your host, and welcome to today's episode. Our farmer mentor for today is Inga Qeja, who is a commercial vegetable producer based in Solo, Eastern Cape. Join us as we take notes from his journey to commercial farming. Inga Qeja, welcome to Farmers Inside Track. We are honored to have you as our farmer mentor today. Welcome to Food from Zanzi's podcast.
I'm glad to be here and thank you very much. And also, I just want to say thank you to Food for Mzansi for the journey that we had together. From the first article that they wrote about me and my company and my journey, it was one of the most read articles in the continent. My life was never the same again. So I want to say thank you for the journey and thank you for the support and love. And also thank you Food for Mzansi. I was with the farmers in Daba, FNP Stadium. I was the first person in my family to be in FNP Stadium. So breaking generational curses together.
That's wonderful, Inga. I think we're also very honored to have you as one of the farmers who is willing to share their stories, because you are an inspiration for many farmers in your community and across the country. So thank you for continuing to put in the passion and effort and work into your production, because it definitely goes beyond yourself, as you said. You are breaking family curses and elevating not just yourself, but the people around you. So we're actually very honored to have you on Food from Zanzi as well.
It's a pleasure. It's not easy. It's a lonely journey. It's a lonely and a cruel journey. It needs a lot of character, because at one moment you are at the top. The second moment you are down with nothing. A big rain or flood, you'll be cruising nicely today. This afternoon, big rain would come, floods. They'll destroy everything that you have worked hard for the last, let's say, 3 months or so. The sad part is that you lose everything. You need to go back and go and figure it out, how I'm going to bounce back from this. So it's a lonely journey. It's very ruthless. So it needs a lot of character, and you need to love it more than anything, because if you're in it for the money, you'll end up in ICU. When you love something, when you're passionate about it, regardless of the disappointment of the lemons that it throws at you, you are able to take those lemons and make a lemon juice, and then you can have a party. So you need to have the right mindset, all in all.
And I think that's just the perfect note to start off this conversation we're having. So Inga, you are a commercial vegetable farmer and owner of Bayi Holdings in Solo. So how did you start? Because you are our farmer mentor for today. And I know for a lot of farmers, they're just wondering, some of them have started, but they're just wondering how they can continue and actually establish a business. So maybe you could share how you actually started as a farmer and what that looked like.
I'd say it was a mistake. It was an unplanned venture or unplanned journey. So I always had a passion for farming. It's just that we always put excuses in whatever we want to do. I would love to do this, just I don't have all the time in the world. I would love to do this, just I don't have capital. I would love to do this. So I always had that debate. Came 2015, 16, I started with poultry. It was a success because I did grow this chicken. I sold up to the selling point. I did sell them. Just that from that moment on, I couldn't continue because of my work commitments. Couldn't continue. So until 2020, during the lockdown. So during the lockdown, we're sitting at home. I had 3 options, man. So that to go to Joburg, visit my cousin, because I said it's going to be 21 days at home. We didn't know what lockdown looks like because we never had a lockdown before. So I said, okay, so either go to my cousin in Johannesburg, or I go to Cape Town, or I stay here in Eastern Cape, or I go to Pietermaritzburg. Until I hear that there will be soldiers, I said, nah, if it's going to be soldiers, let me rather stay in the rural areas. Because soldiers, you won't come to the rural areas, they'll be in towns, in cities. I stayed at home, and luckily, I became addicted to working. So I got tired. I was sitting at home, doing nothing, wake up in the morning, run around the yard, do nothing. So my mother was already planted some spinach at home, vegetables that we usually consume as a family. Since I was at home, I was already helping with my mother there. So I saw that my friends that are within the agricultural value chain were able to move around because their business was called necessary goods to drive around. I said, oh, why are you guys still working but slow down? I said, no, we're in farming. So what are you doing? Who's what? So they're able to. I said, oh, okay, I've got spinach at home. I'll go and sell it in town. So after that, I went to sell the spinach in town. And then the owner said, no, man, can you supply me with spinaches? I said, how many bunches do you want? She said, 300. I said, that's just too much. And I don't need to sign anything. I just need to bring it and then you're going to pay me. She said, yes. I said, okay. I said, why? I said, but I would usually with most businesses, for you to break in a Spar or Boxer, you need to tick all the right boxes for you to break to that such market. So now with this one, I just need to plant spinach and bring it to Boxer. I said, yes. I said, oh, okay. That's kind of easy. So I did manage to pick some spinach, but we didn't pick the 300 that she wanted. So we did plus minus 100 and something hundreds. So we delivered it, signed the invoice, got paid. I said, oh, okay. Now I need to think big of this. There's an opportunity here. So from that point, there was a land that was not being used just next to the river that was used by my grandmother, but they're not using it anymore. So I said, okay, I just decided to go and fence that place. It was a 2 hectare. I didn't have the capital to do so, but I just said I had the willing. Sometimes if you're willing to do something, it can be done. Just need to have the will to do so. So I started fencing bit by bit. It was fenced, planted spinach, cabbage. In December, we were supplying Boxer and Spar. Easy, just like that. But it was not easy, but it's unlike you making soap and hoping that soap will go and sell to Spar. There are too many regulations. But whereas with vegetables, you can just plant. But now they started to introduce the gap system that is going to try and shut so many people out. But it was basic that way, straightforward like that.
That is sort of accident, but you saw the opportunity to start the business. Since then, you have grown. It's not just spinach that you're planting. So maybe talk us through the current operations that you are running on the farm.
Farming is not easy. I've had some of my fair challenges. Like last year, I think it was September, October. We planted 10,000 cabbages. We had orders for December. So we planted cabbages, beetroot, spinach, butternut, green mealies. So our pump broke in the middle of production.
Oh, no.
We tried to recover from that. So we broke the pump and we did everything to try and survive, but we couldn't. We saw everything dying in front of our eyes. But yeah, we managed to try and come back this year. So we currently planted cabbage, beetroot, green peppers, and spinach. I think we're trying to get back on our feet from the devastating loss.
That must have been very devastating. And I'm sure you'll come back from it. As you said, you've planted. So I'm anticipating the coming season. But when the pump broke, I'm sure that was, of course, one of the biggest setbacks that you have experienced now as a farmer. How did you navigate it? Maybe what were some of the lessons that you took from that in terms of, because water is, of course, essential when it comes to production, along with soil.
The most rated up there with air and oxygen. Yeah, it was a bit of a challenge, man. Because first, the pump that I was using, it just came back from saying it was fairly new. And when I went to those guys that I bought the pump from, they couldn't assist me. Whereas we had like a 5-year relationship with them. I bought my first education from them. I've been buying my pipes from them. I've been working with them. But when I needed it the most, they couldn't pitch. That's how ruthless other people are. So I had to dig deep. I had to talk to other farmers. It's always nice when you have a problem. Most of us hide our problems because, especially in farming, people they enjoy that content that they're succeeding. No, sir, as much as I don't like to post to talk about my failures and beg people, but no, when you're in trouble, it's always nice to talk to other farmers. For the problem, I don't have a pump. And people said, no, man, ask someone else. I was traveling, going to different farmers around my area until there's a guy who assisted me. Sold me his pump that he was not using anymore. I bought it, went to fix it, but I'm using that one now. It's bigger than what I had before, and it's more powerful than I had before. So even had to go to the department, and the department sometimes, I'm sorry to say, they can be very useless. No one could help me. I was on the verge of giving up, and just that it's very hard to give up. But sometimes the signs are there for you to give up, but you just say, let me just try one more time.
That must have been so frustrating because you already had the business going. As you have said, you had developed a market already. were, expecting to harvest?
Hey, you're talking like, all this thing. In business for 6 years, you've got the market, you've got the relationships with the guy to go to. You need something, go to him. So when you come to me and then I say, hey, and plus my friend was getting married December. There are so many orders, man. People said, no, okay, December, I'm getting married. You're going to be supplying with vegetables. Us Africans, when making wedding, it's not just any wedding, it's a big wedding. They start catering the Monday, whereas the thing is the following Saturday. So I had to go and buy spinaches from other people just to keep the reputation of the company afloat. So I had to go and buy from other people and then supply my customers. So I had to buy from other people and then supply, say, 150 spinaches. I need to call guys, say, Brian, tell us 50 spinaches, please. Okay, sure. Come get it in the morning. Then I get there, the guy hasn't started. I need to check out because I'm there to collect. Now the guy is slow. I need to take out my sneakers, go into the garden and help him. Hey, and then he's happy that Inga is in the garden helping me. He's asking me questions. Now instead of me being a customer to come and buy, I'm doing mentorship and coaching this guy. No, you should do this thing like, it's fun.
Yes.
So I said, okay, yeah, but I survived, man.
You did.
And it's always nice also to have a partner that will support you. With no woman, the minute you do something and you start too many things that happen, say, baby, are you sure what you're doing is right? Hey, baby, I'm not sure. Just to try out. That, hey, this thing, you're losing a lot of money now, ne? Yeah, I know. But it's always nice to watch you.
Yeah, definitely. You spoke to us about how you started the business. And of course, you said, you started with your own capital. At any point along the journey, were you able to secure funding of any form or external support in helping develop the business?
When I don't lie, Shem, I did get some support along the way. For instance, when we were busy fencing, I was already engaging with my local extension officer, local Department of Agriculture, that we're doing this. And then same time that year in 2020, the government gave out, those COVID relief fund. We were fortunate to get some of that money. It was like 50K. So that money helped us to buy the fence and the poles and the pump that we've been using and the irrigation system. It was sort of like a boost because without that money, I don't want to lie, maybe we wouldn't be where we are now. It actually made my life easier but during the first 5 years because I wasn't worried about buying a fence, when you have to buy this when you're starting a business. Because those are the most depressing things. Yeah. And then after that, in 2023, 2022, I did a farmer's day, my first farmer's day, whereby I saw that, I have a strong relationship, man, with you guys, Food from Zanzi, other entities, Steakhouse, Sankata. So it came an idea, man, that these people, I have a very good relationship with these people, and I'm learning a lot from these people. Why don't I just bring these people under one roof and then bring the farmers from my local area? Because in the rural areas, like towns like Tsolo, Kumbu, you don't find Chabanchu, those small towns, you hardly find people that, those like seminars, business coaching classes, you don't find those things. So I'm fortunate, man, I travel a lot and then I get to attend seminars, meet people like JT Fox. So I said, let me just do something like this. I'm sure maybe this will empower my community. So I did that and it was a success. And then luckily from that, I built a relationship with SIFA. I think it's SIFTA now or SAFTA, something like that. So I ended up by having to do a loan. That's how I bought a tractor, trailer, plows. So that helped me a lot with my business. Because the tractor, it does help you sometimes generate another income, whatever, when the chips are down.
So maybe now we can just look at some of the principles that have guided you as a farmer, because there have been plenty of times where you could have given up because there were challenges that were against you, as you've said, with the pump breaking, even at first securing funding and capital, all of those things. And there's the weather, the climate conditions as well. So what is it that keeps you pouring into the business?
I sometimes wish I could go back to 2013 when I met my mentor. My mentor said I must read a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. That book, it's like a Bible for any entrepreneur. It talks about 4 feet away from gold, whereby there was a guy who bought a mine. He digged and digged and digged and digged. When it was 4 meters or forward, but I was 4 feet from reaching the gold. He came up. So it's things like that, man, that have kept me going because you need to be ready mentally. It's things like reading the right books and meeting the right people. And also people like you, Food from Zanzi, that have kept me going because I don't wanna lie, I don't get a lot of support from the Department of Agriculture. They don't like my ideas. Somehow they feel intimidated with what I do. So I don't have a strong relationship. They do. So with the national support and the international support, because last year I was invited to go to Italy in Rome to talk about my journey as a farmer. I just thought that didn't materialize because a close brother of mine passed away, so I couldn't go. My mind was all over the place. I couldn't.
Sorry about that.
But such things, they keep you going. And also having goals, man, in life. You know, when you say it's always good to set goals that in 2028 I want to achieve this. So the challenges that you meet in 2025, 6, 7, they don't matter because where is your goal? My goal is in 2028. So there are gonna be storms, there are gonna be rains, roller coaster rides, everything along the way. So what keeps me going is knowing what I want to achieve tomorrow and where do I want to go. And also the biggest mistake that I did that has worked towards me, I don't do things for money. As much as I love money, I buy clothes, I pay petrol, I pay diesel, I do everything with money, but I don't do things for money. I do things that I love. And then money becomes a bonus along the way. Like with this Farmer's Day that I'm doing, I can send you my bank statement now. I don't even have a cent in my bank account, but I'm organizing one of the biggest Farmers Day Expo in the Ora Tambo region. I don't have money, but it's the will. That's what grows me, the achievements.
It's admirable just you saying that those who are listening are inspired from it. And as you've said, the book that you referred to, can you just say that book again? Maybe for someone who's listening, they want to actually read it.
Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Read that book over and over again. The first book I could recommend you, but it's one of those books that it talks about, for entrepreneurs, but it talks about different scenarios about entrepreneurship that you ended up, when you're going through life, you end up reflecting on it. It shapes you.
Because as a farmer, you are an entrepreneur, so you have to see yourself as one and think like one, I'm sure.
Yeah, you are one.
Thanks, Inga. And also the opportunities that you've had. You've mentioned that you had the opportunity to speak in Italy, and I'm quite sure with the drive that you have, those opportunities and even better opportunities will continue to find you. So you being able to host the Farmers Day, upcoming Farmers Day, is just a testament of the legacy and the work that you have already created as a farmer. And what exactly is the legacy that you want to leave behind as a farmer in your region, but also as a mentor for other farmers?
One day when they talk about me, they would say Inga is a person that made everything possible for himself, for others. Yeah. You couldn't take no for an answer. Whenever the life beat him down to the gutter, he'd always fall 7 times, wake up 8 times, even stronger than before. So I'm all about that. It's all about inspiration because you cannot change the world. But what we need to do, we need to inspire someone that maybe one day they'll have got to change the world. You just need to do your bit. Do your bit. If you're organizing a Farmers Day, do what you can. People will see that the role that you've played. If they fail you, some will sabotage you, some will do this, but the real ones will see the real you. Keep going, keep knocking, fall, wake up. It's not easy. It is hard. Agriculture, it's hard. The mistake that we had is people think that when you go to agriculture, government is there to support you. No, that's the mentality that we need to start teaching the kids out there, that no, government is not there to help you. You're on your own. You just have to build your own relationship out there that will be able to assist you in whatever you're doing. Don't say that, no, once I start, next month the government is going to come and see what I'm doing. Then the next month they'll come and bring tractors to me. No, they're not going to do that. You're going to suffer, you're going to fail, build your character, you're going to meet the right people that will help you along the way. Food from Zanzi, it could be Paul, it could be who, but someone out there will come and help you.
That is very important to share with our farmers because it's easy to get discouraged when you're not getting the support that you were told you would get as a farmer.
The disappointment, when people think that, when people see that you are doing something, they'll come and promise you things, thinking that they're motivating you, not knowing that somehow they're discouraging you because they're going to give you empty promises. And then after that, they're not going to deliver. Then you're going to get discouraged. So that's why I say you just need to persist on your own.
Yeah.
That's more important.
I don't know if there's anything else that you want to share that you haven't spoken about yet. For new farmers who are starting, seasoned farmers.
No, just for the farmers that are starting, as I say, enjoy your journey. Persistence is very important. So it's important to persist. How do you persist without money? Always buy seeds. No seeds from Staircase, Stankata, those sachets for seeds. You can buy those things. They grow those things into vegetables. So I'm saying that you don't need to actually have money to go and buy seedlings per se, but nobody just to keep going, man. Keep going. Finding ways of keep going, because for the last 6 years, regardless of any challenges, I've never not planted. Each and every year, I make sure I plant. Sometimes I plant seeds, sometimes I plant seedlings, but what the most important thing, consistent. So that you fall in love with the journey, you get addicted to the journey.
Would love that you're closing with that. Keep going. Thank you so much, Inga, for joining us today as our farmer mentor. And as Food from Zanzi, we're rooting for you. I'm quite sure this coming season, as you said, you've planted, the work and effort that you've put into will return to you tenfold.
Thank you very much. I receive, and all the best, you guys too. And don't forget to follow my Facebook page.
Thank you so much to Inga Qeja. And for more information on this topic or to read his story, you can definitely visit www.foodfromzanzi.co.za. And that brings us to the end of this episode. Remember to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform. From myself, Patricia Tembo, our technical producer, Megan van der Vent, and the rest of #Team Food from Zanzi, thank you for listening and keep growing with us.